Hello, everyone, and welcome back here to Speed Runners Arena. And welcome in to game number 2 in this best of 3 match in one of the mouse bracket semifinals between OK Beamer, the 1 seed, and Cemo Rocks, the 4 seed. I'm Ferran Burgundy. I'll be bringing the action here to you. For those who missed it, maybe 10 minutes ago or so, OK Beamer did take the first matchup in this best of 3. So if he gets the second victory here, he will move on to the finals to await the 18-seeded Essie, who is waiting in the wings. And if Cemo gets the victory here, then game 3, the deciding game 3, will be tomorrow at roughly 24 hours from now, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, and it is yet to be determined if we have the resources to broadcast that as of yet, as it looks like we've got a rather lengthy potential lineup here coming up tomorrow, not just game 3 between Cemo and OK Beamer should game 3 occur, but we also have a triple header over in the Rat Bracket as the Rat Bracket semifinals, and is that certainly going to be a goodie as well. Sloaters 27 taking on Zeb 316. That starts at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and will be back to back to back. So all 3 of the best of 3 in that Rat semifinal is set to occur tomorrow. So a lot of things coming your way here in terms of the Super Metroid Randomizer Accessible Tournament over the course of the next day or so. And I don't think I had the chance to introduce myself. I'm Ferran Burgundy. I'll be bringing the action here to you in this game number 2. And as you can see in chat, we already have the predictions set to go. Which suit will be found first amongst our runners as all of the items are shuffled around. And you have about 7.5 minutes to get that prediction in. Right now, it is a very strong leaning towards the gravity suit as opposed to Varia. So time will tell. There's still plenty of time to get in. Varia, certainly the return ratio has a rather high average, as you probably caught the shaking of the chain of my dog in the background. So we do apologize. She may make her presence felt. And we are set to go here with our runners. And for the moment, I'm going to utilize the Speedrunners Arena feed here until we get the feed up in the broadcast booth. So it looks like there's about a 2-second difference, maybe a little less than, between our 2 runners. Both are going to go ahead and utilize the Moonfall to make their way down, as they're going to head to our first item, which is always in its vanilla location in SMRAT, because, well, this is expected with those with very little knowledge of the game, although you're going to certainly see a lot of tricks that are beyond your basic knowledge here. Both are going to get the morphing ball to start off with, and now things are going to be all over the place, although it's always going to be within logic, meaning that all you're expected to know to access the various items would be the infinite bomb jump, as well as vertical shine sparks. Oh goodness, here we go. And we have missiles to start in the construction zone. Not exactly ideal. It gives a little bit more access, but only a little bit. Beamer with a slight advantage, but again, about a little more than a 1.5 second differential. Here's the first of the out of logic checks in the Brinstar ceiling, as you're not expected to bump into that enemy. And we have an energy tank to start there. And meanwhile, super missiles over to the right. So that means our runners are going to have to go to Bomb Chorizo to access some bombs. So that is a little less than desirable along the way, as that means if our runners are going to double back to this area, it takes a little bit of time, and time is something you do not want to have in a speedrun or a race. You don't want extra time. So that could be a crucial decision if an item that our runners are looking for is in that location, whether it's the Blue Brinstar Power Bombs or the Billy Mays locations. So now both runners going to head past Old Mother Brain, not able to check that spot. They're going to both do the tower climb here. The Real Gerbo in chat noting a little bit more precise of the timing differential. Either way, it's a second and change is the differential between the two. So they're making their way over to Bomb Chorizo, and it looks like Cemo is going to get there first. Now, it's either going to be a bomb or power bombs. If it's the regular morph... Oh, it's the regular bomb, so we're going to have the bonus Chorizo fight. This is what you see in vanilla. And this also occurred in the last race, so this is 2 5% chances back-to-back here. So trying to do the math on that, that's about a 1 out of 400 likelihood. So you're getting to see some pretty rare stuff. So this is about that will happen about 0.25% of the time. Chat sarcastically asking, are we sure this isn't the same seed? Since I was not here at the beginning of the seed, I can't say for certain, but we'll find out here as both of our runners are going to head over to the 230 missile location, the dental plan location as it's also known. Oh, supers were late last time. Slow Guy, our previous commentator, able to do so. And we've got X-Ray here in the 230 missile location. Of course, it is called that because that in the 100% run is the last of the missiles, which would put your missile inventory to 230. So that's why it is known as that. Now, will we see a divergence of paths? We will not. Both of our runners are heading up. Well, we are going to see one. It looks like Cemo is going to head out in the direction of the ship, whereas OK Beamer is going to head over towards Terminator, and the usual E-Tank is a super missile in this case. And Cemo, without any power bombs, is going to make the play to Gauntlet. This is rather risky and definitely out of logic as, well, with one E-Tank plus the 99, this is a very high-risk, high-reward situation. But being down 1-0, I would imagine any chance that you're going to take a calculated risk, perhaps, is certainly going to be done. As OK Beamer is going to head into the early super room. We've got high jump boots at the front of reserves. That's a heck of a find. And then in the back, we've got an E-Tank. We've got Spring Ball, which OK Beamer is going to go for. Sorry, MM2. Not sorry. Meanwhile, there's an E-Tank. That is a bit of a relief in the back of, or in the front of Gauntlet, I should say. And we have some more super missiles for OK Beamer at the Brinstar Reserve location. And now let's see what is up top. It is a set of missiles. So the high jump boots and spring ball, certainly the notable items here. But let's see what we have for Cemo, who is just going to escape that acid. And now is going to access the 2 checks in the back of Gauntlet. And they're both super missiles. So not bad, but a little bit of an advantage here to OK Beamer in terms of exploration, getting those other items ahead of time here. It was a gamble that if there was a suit up there, it certainly would have paid off. And it may certainly still. It's hard to say. Looks like the predictions are closed and the amounts are fairly even. It looks like 6 people voting Varia, 4 people voting Gravity. And at the top of Big Pink, we have a Super Missile. No power bomb to be able to access that, so a little bit of potential backtracking or ignoring, not sure which. As Beamer is going to clear the path and look to utilize the Spore Spawn skip, and does so. Power Bomb is eliminating the ability to access Edacoons as well, so if there is something there, we'll see if that is effective in some way here. Meanwhile, the Spore Spawn Super Missiles are vanilla. They are some Super Missiles. And cemo, meanwhile, is going to go and get his high jump boots for sure, and possibly the spring ball as well. And does so. And at the Big Pink bottom, we have some supers as well. And let's see what we can find in the Charge Beam. Also some Super Missiles. So, presuming that our runners don't find charge, it is good to find this early ammunition. And Lamian, I certainly don't disagree. We'll leave it at that. Yes, already with over 30 Super Missiles, we have enough ammo for Ridley, and it looks like that was a missile in the Sonic Pipe missile location. As it looks like there's now a bit of a differential, about a 9-second difference between the two runner streams. And OK Beamer is going to descend the tower as opposed to ascend. Looks like we have some adjustments here. As now it looks like, thanks to the pausing, there's I guess it looks like it's a matter of trying to get the two runners synchronized here, and we do appreciate WJG's efforts to do so here. As we have an energy tank in the Spazer location. It looks like for the moment they are about 1 second off, and from what I've been told, the sound has been messed up, but because I don't want to hear the echo, I don't have the sound on, so I do apologize for that. Meanwhile, Beamer is going to head over to the warehouse and look for Kraid. That is in logic with the high jump boots. And we have some super missiles behind. That's going to be left go, mainly because we still don't have any power bombs 11 and a half minutes in. And yes, I am aware that if I watch it through the screen share, there won't be any audio echo, but I am watching sans headphones, and the speakers would broadcast the audio through, and thus create some sort of an echo and an absolute nightmare for WJG. And I don't want to do that to him, or the rest of the viewing audience for that matter. OK Beamer, it looks like, was trying to go for the Spore Spawn skit, or not the Spore Spawn skit, the Kraid Quick Kill, I should say, but had missiles instead of super missiles. So, OK Beamer going to go to prom, as it's been known, and we have an E-Tank at the various suit locations. So the suits are still at large. Cemo now going to pick up his energy tank at the Spazer location. So really the difference between our two runners was Cemo took a gamble and went up to Gauntlet, and it only provided an energy tank and a couple of super missiles, but otherwise the exploration has been basically identical. Now we'll see if Cemo opts to go over to the warehouse, or is Cemo going to do the high jump boots check first? Well, there's our first set of power bombs 13 and a half minutes in, and it's at the warehouse E-Tank. So while not ideal, it's not necessarily terrible, as there's the X-ray from Cemo and is going to pass on those. Beamer is going to head on over into Upper Norfair to check the high jump locations. The real Gerbeau channeling his inner Michael Scott, and yes, I actually have a sounder from the office for whenever Screw Attack comes up. It's over. We are screwed. Beamer certainly isn't, though, with the finding of the Ice Beam. And decides to pass on the missiles at the high jump boots. And it is certainly ice to see you in the high jump E-Tag location. Cemo does get the Kraid quick kill. And we see there's more power bombs at the Croc escape location. But now with the acquisition of the power bombs, it pretty much means that a doubling back is guaranteed here. Provided our runners don't do anything wild like hell runs or anything of that nature, which would be out of logic for the game here. Meaning they'd go into the Varia required locations where you take damage just being in the room because it is so doggone hot. But Beamer wanting none of that, as Cemo now, about 2 minutes after the fact, picks up the power bombs. And Beamer is going to go all the way up Red Tower. Which makes sense given the Ice Beam. And remembers that he has Ice Beam and is going to utilize that to freeze the enemies and make the trek all the way up. Cemo now picking up his Ice Beam. Again, for those just joining us, OK Beamer did get the victory in Game 1. An OK Beamer win here will move him into the finals of the Mouse Bracket. Cemo looking to force a deciding Game 3 tomorrow in just under 24 hours from now. And we've got super missiles at the Alpha Room. Already up to 40, and we've got more supers in the back. So our runners might decide that this is one of those seeds where they're just going to get a certain amount of ammo, as Beamer getting trapped there. Being fed to one of the Audrey 2s for a little bit. Shoutouts to the Little Shop of Horrors movie back in the 80s. And now over to the beta PB room here. Using the power bomb on the side hoppers is OK Beamer, and there's speed. Feeling the need for speed indeed. So let's see if cemo continues the same path here and acquires that speed booster. Or perhaps goes a different route and finds something else. Going for the difficult jump there and getting it on the second try is cemo. Meanwhile, OK Beamer is atop red tower and is going to be back near the start. I don't think there was even a peek at the moat by chance. Well, Beamer is now going to utilize that speed booster and take a look at the landing power bomb site. And cemo is going to take a different path here and is going to double back utilizing the super missile glitch to hit the gate. And we have some much needed power bombs up at the landing site power bomb. A good time to have a vanilla location. And I would imagine Beamer is now going to do the checks over in Gauntlet and is going to do so. Meanwhile, we're going to have a look here at the Mission Impossible location. And it's an E-Tank. And does successfully pull off the Mission Impossible is cemo. Gets in, gets the item, and gets out before that crumble block closed. Very nicely done. cemo utilizing the power bomb. Quickly forgot that he did not get speed as of yet. OK Beamer did. And now cemo is going to give us an Edacoon's check. So there's 3 checks there. And we have Charge Beam at the Edacoon's location. And Grapple Beam. What a haul in the Edacoon's area. That'll certainly provide access to a couple of places. Yep, and we are 2 out of 3 for the Microwave Beam. We have the X-Ray that was found really early on at the 230 location for those just joining us. And now OK Beamer picks up his pair of super missiles in the back of Gauntlet. So now it's hard to say who has the advantage here. Well, we've got some more supers at the top of the Edacoon's. And cemo trying for the mock ball, gets it on the 3rd try. I'm not sure how much time that necessarily saved. And it looks like Beamer's going to go ahead and do the cleanup that cemo has just done at this point here. Kind of low on power bombs, though. May have to head over to farm a little bit. And is actually going to do so in the frog room that is right here. To answer the question, the traditional SMRAT settings, so nothing is going to be out of logic, as we have cemo doing the Wavegate glitch and finds a reserve tank and opts to leave it be. Reserve tanks do save lives. They are certainly not trash. Beamer, meanwhile, picking up the grapple beam and charge beam in Edacoons. And I think in terms of efficiency, I mean, this might be a very, very slight advantage Beamer. And cemo is now going to give us a look at blue Brinstar's options, and we have super missiles at the blue Brinstar PB location. So if Billy Mays has something good here, then this was a heck of a decision on cemo's part. Yeah, that has been the difference at this point. cemo opted to check Gauntlet early. Beamer opted to check it a little bit later. And Beamer got up Red Tower a little bit earlier and was able to get the not the high jump boots, the speed booster. Both of them did get high jump boots at the early super room. We've got a set of missiles, but wait, there's more. Act now, and we'll throw a second set in at no extra charge. So swinging a pair of missiles for cemo in Billy Mays. And Beamer is not able to get the Mission Impossible. So that will tick a little bit of time off and even things just a little bit. To answer the question, no, we have not seen Old Mother Brain's location. I would imagine that's where cemo is heading next, as Beamer is now going to go in and check the Wavegate location, which we know is a reserve tank. So now here in Old Mother Brain, we have yet another reserve tank. Now, this is an interesting divergence here, as Beamer does have the speed booster. Normally, you would need the gravity suit as well as the speed booster to be able to do waterway here, but there is a way to do a shorter charge and from the top do a horizontal shine spark. Again, this is out of logic. Beamer is able to do it and finds a set of missiles. So apart from X-Ray, that pretty much full clears all of Brinstar here. cemo now going to go past the ship, opts not to save. Kind of surprising considering that he only has one power bomb and utilizes it there and realizes, oh, I guess I need to go ahead and do that. It's probably going to do an infinite bomb jump up to that landing site PB location. We know that that's going to be helpful because it is in fact a set of power bombs. And OK Beamer, meanwhile, is going to double back into Blue Brinstar to pick up the super missiles and presumably, or okay, skip past the super missiles, I should say, and presumably to check Billy Mays and Old Mother Brain. So all things told, pretty even here, though cemo taking a good amount of time doing the infinite bomb jump here to get up to landing site power bombs. Well, no, we do know that it is a set of power bombs here. Neither runner has even seen a first suit. Yes, the first vote ended, golly, probably a good 25 minutes ago at this point. As that is of note, we are 27 minutes in, and neither of our runners have found a suit yet. They are certainly in a great deal of hiding, and cemo utilizing Moonfall, Beamer passing up on both of the missiles expectedly. So we have super missiles in the mermaid missile location, as well as the moat. And you have a question in chat here. The climb supers is in logic with ice and speed. Again, cemo did not yet acquire speed booster, having not gone up red tower. So this is a check that OK Beamer can and is about to do. cemo, meanwhile, skipping ahead and is at least attempting to go over to wreck ship with a grapple beam. So if there's something here at climb, which it seems like a good chance that there is, well, that something is a set of missiles, so nothing too great in this case. So hard to say whether that extra check will be a factor, but I mean, there are so many factors given how close this has been. cemo now heading into wrecked ship, going to give us a look at the spooky missile location. And we have the Varia suit! What a find! Beamer now stopping at the ship. Slow Guy Speed Booster was at the Beta PB room. So yes, those of you with the blue number 1, the 6 of you who predicted Varia, enjoy the roughly 2-to-1 gamble and gain on the Varia suit. So yeah, we are a half hour in and we just found a suit, and Beamer is not going to be too far behind heading in that direction. And a nice Doppler from cemo on that first round with Fantoon, one of the more annoying of the bosses because of their unpredictable patterns. It's either fast, middle, or medium, or slow, and if you somehow miss out on the first one, there's another fast, medium, or slow. And Beamer having a little bit of trouble with the grapple. They're actually not even utilizing the grapple. Oh, it's trying to do for the ocean fly and successfully gets it. So little intricate time saves and time losses for both of our runners here. Make sure to give both of them a follow, cemo Rocks and OK Beamer. We also want to thank behind the scenes WJG999 who has requested that you not follow him, as well as Sailor Jade. She is our tracker for this, and I'm Ferran Burgundy. I am providing the play-by-play here as Beamer now picks up his Varia suit just before the 32-minute mark. And cemo picking up the super missile in the wrecked West super missile location. There's a tongue twister. And I'm a professional broadcaster. And I'm pretty sure, but I don't believe, yeah, cemo did not check any of the other locations in wrecked ship, just opted to get on out of there and is probably feeling a little bit of the pressure 32 minutes in, is just going to head to the south. This is a definite gamble, to say the least. You're absolutely right about that, Spike. A professional broadcaster indeed. cemo re-equipping the high jump boots before heading on down into Red Tower. Beamer, meanwhile, working on Fantoon. And cemo skipping out on the Red Tower checks, and thus skipping out on the speed booster. We'll see how much or little that comes into play. That is, I think that is definitely the feeling of being behind and is just skipping a bunch of checks. I don't know if he thinks that he's in go mode necessarily. I mean, I know cemo can, exactly. This is an all-in situation, perhaps. cemo pushing all of his proverbial chips into the table, but without finding gravity suit, suitless Meridia just takes so much time to the point where it's very much a risk-reward situation. Now, Beamer is going to make the checks here in wreck ship. So if gravity suit is here, this could be very advantageous. And we have an E-tank over at the wrecked East super missile location. cemo, I don't think, is bothering with any checks, so I think this is just... Oh, wait, we're gonna have a quick look there at the cathedral, and it turns out that it is just a missile. And Essie getting a study of the tendencies of the two potential opponents here, as Essie will face the winner of this best of 3 series, noting I like the play. There's nothing wrong with a little competition scouting. And true, Phoenix doing the same as Phoenix in the third place race. So whomever loses between these two will face off against Phoenix down in the third place matchup to determine. So yeah, certainly a lot of scouting going on here, and I'm just trying to keep up with the play-by-play because I have no chance of seeing any of these folks in any types of race other than commentating them. So cemo now with the successful lava dive is going to make a save. Beamer, meanwhile, is heading over, is going to carefully make his way through, and we have power bombs, and that's going to be a reset. Meanwhile, cemo, after the save, is going to head into Lower Northair. No space, no speed, no screw attack, not a single luxury. Like Robinson Crusoe, as primitive as can be. Meanwhile, OK Beamer is heading up to the attic of wrecked ship. Shoutouts to the probably one of you who got that Gilligan's Island reference from gosh, almost 60 years ago now. Yeah, 1964 is when Gilligan's Island was debuted on CBS. From 64 to 67, and then in reruns pretty much forever since then. A great worst room in the game there for cemo, now working in the amphitheater, and we've got the Spazer up in the attic. And Beamer's going to go for it here. Probably figures this late in the run, not going to necessarily do checks to look for the plasma beam. And we are going to get a full clear here from OK Beamer as cemo heads deeper and deeper into Lower Norfair. So this, I think, for the Canadian fans out there, this might be the TSN turning point. And we have an E-tank at the wrecked reserve location. Yes, if you're looking for lots of other obscure references, this is why you should give me a follow. I do funny things like this. Meanwhile, we've got power bombs up at the Missiles in the Sky location. And I blinked and missed what was at the Maze Missile location. I think it was another power bomb, but I'm not sure. Indeed it was, as we look at the replay. So cemo now is going to take on Ridley as we had a pair of PBs, power bombs that is. And OK Beamer is going bowling. Well, based on this flag set, Final Saber, gravity cannot be in Lower Norfair. So cemo is just taking on Ridley, and oh, it absolutely was. We have a set of missiles in the gravity missile location that is vanilla, and our gravity suit location, if that's vanilla as well, it's going to be huge. It's an E-tank, though. And we have an E-tank behind Ridley. So a little bit of vanilla rolling along the way here. So for OK Beamer, apart from the Spazer, really a bust in the wrecked ship. So cemo already done with Lower Norfair and now just has Dragon to do. And you're right. I did say that might be the TSN turning point here, and I think that has shifted the lead over to cemo. But stranger things can certainly happen, and they definitely have here in this tournament. The thrice beam? No, I did not get the memo. Skyhawk, yes. Climb Supers was checked. It was just a set of missiles. It was checked by OK Beamer, as he is the only one with the speed booster at this point. Speed booster was in the beta power bomb room in the top of Red Tower. cemo passed it, opted to skip it. And cemo being ammo go mode looks like, I mean, it's dicey, it's close. Might have to use charge ice for a few shots, and is being selective with the options here. And we have a set of missiles over in the jail, as it's known, the Lower Norfair Escape Power Bomb Room. We've got Beamer with a check at X-Ray. Meanwhile, we have supers that cemo is going to pick up. And Wave Beam. What a find at X-Ray. So cemo's going to ignore the Three Musketeers check. Yep, just skipping right past the Quick Check gas station. That's for the New Jerseyans out there. And no, cemo did skip out on the Firefly Funhouse. Yes, I'm not sure what else to call it, but as a professional wrestling fan, I try to sneak in wrestling references where I can as well. Shoutouts to Bray Wyatt. Beamer, meanwhile, is going to give us an Ice Beam check. And is able to get the fly across here. And cemo, it looks like, is committing to doing Suitless Meridia. Beamer, meanwhile, Ice Beam has some power bombs, leaves them go. Correct, since gravity cannot be in Meridia nor in Lower Norfair, it's got to be somewhere here in Upper Norfair. So it could be at Speed, Wave, the Reserve. It could even be here at the Crumble Shaft. Dash, I'm not sure about. Oh, and Beamer does get the Crumble Shaft on the jump, and it is a set of super missiles. So Beamer, I guess, is going to bet on Croc here. Oh, and cemo going to do a spring ball jump here. And we see Screw Attack at Main Street Missile. But again, cemo did not pick up the speed booster, but then again can't really run in this scenario underwater anyway. We've got a power bomb at the Mount Everest Supers. And we've got a set of missiles, and Beamer just kind of hanging around. Wants nothing really to do with them. cemo, meanwhile, flying through the air with the greatest of ease. And is going to avoid Yellow Meridia. And I would imagine is planning on doing an ice clip. So Beamer is going to give us a check here. And Croc PBs give us some super missiles. We get a save here from Cemo, who, yes, thought about not saving. And we have supers in the acid missiles. And Cemo having a little bit of trouble with that momentum there. We see a set of missiles up top, and I believe that's called Indiana Jones. Or grapple missiles. And missiles in grapple beam as well, so it looks like Bubble Mountain might be hiding our... Actually, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, Bubble Mountain is all we have left here at this point in terms of options for Gravity Suit. Which I don't believe either of our runners have even... I think one of them might have passed by it at best, but that was about it. I don't think we even got a check of the bubble missiles that are there. So we do have a successful ice clip from Cemo. Here is the bot wound battle, and that snake is done. We'll be able to get a peek at what is after bot wound here. And it is Space Jump. Heck of a find for that. Yeah, that would have been great for Lower Norfair, but too little too late, it looks like. And I believe that was just a set of missiles in the bubble missile location. So after OK Beamer doing a check at the Cathedral, we're going to have a look here at the Norfair Reserve, and there is Gravity Suit. So 51 minutes in, Gravity Suit has been found, and Beamer now has to feel extremely behind. Space Jump certainly helping in this room, at least to a degree. For Cemo. But yeah, I don't know if that will necessarily make up the difference. Cemo not doing a save here and doesn't have a whole lot of ammunition here. He's going to have just 4 missiles and 13 supers, but he does have the grapple. This is true. But the grapple jump out is not easy. Oh, now is trying to taunt, looking for the quick grapple. But misses! Quick grapple misses, so now cemo gonna have to get shaken and smacked around a little bit. As OK Beamer makes it to lower Norfair. No space jump nor spring ball. We know that both of those are in Meridia. cemo dispatches with Dragon and, well, now has a little bit of low energy here, so this could be a challenge. Yeah, not even checking what is behind Dragon, and you have to figure at this point, both runners, 53 minutes in, they're probably looking at their IRC for a dot done. So they're both probably feeling immensely behind, seeing where they are at this juncture of the race. So I think a lot of them are making calculated gamble skips, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. Beamer gets through the amphitheater. cemo does get up here, and now I guess is going to give us a check at the precious missiles. It's a reserve tank. cemo opts to leave it be. And yes, this was absolutely a brazen call, a bold call, as it were. And now with Space Jump is going to head on up. Beamer not going to check the power bombs of shame either. Was looking for the damage boost through. And yes, Dragon is down for cemo, so cemo now just has to get out of Meridia and will head over to Torian, as Beamer, meanwhile, still has a little bit more to do, as Beamer was looking for the gravity suit. cemo opted to go without the gravity suit into Meridia, and it looks like that gamble, at least thus far, has paid off. Now, we have seen time and time again runners, perhaps for time-saving potential purposes, perhaps for just overall bravado, have skipped out on saves, so anything is still possible. There have been plenty of races that I've seen where people have avoided a save to try to save 15 seconds, and end up taking a death and gaining, or I guess losing in that case, a half hour. That is an interesting set of wall jumps from cemo, and is able to do so. Is able to get up there. Well-placed, timely jumps here from cemo, as Beamer is now working on and finishing with Ridley. cemo able to do some rather fancy grapple beaming. Trying to snail jump up, and does so. Beamer looking to replenish some energy and do a little bit of farming off of the metal pirates. Yep, the poor fish. No kill, only freeze. So Beamer looking to escape Lower Norfair. Cemo is up Red Tower. Just has to go to the ship, replenish, and presumably save. Though I've presumed wrong before. Cemo still no speed booster. That was in the beta powerbomb location. There is the replenishment. That seemed pretty quick out there. I didn't see them hit no, but it doesn't look like the save animation worked, so I don't think he saved. Meanwhile, Beamer finding a set of missiles in the Firefly Funhouse. But yes, all of a sudden, this just got a little bit more interesting. Because I don't recall when the last time was that Cemo had saved. Beamer opts to hold off on the super missiles, figuring 70 and 20 is enough. And I think that's exactly what it is. Both runners feel behind at this point, and Cemo able to quickly finish off. That was the advantage of having the bombs. Meanwhile, we had missiles in the Three Musketeer missile room. So these are a couple of checks that Cemo skipped that turned out to be ideal skips. Great time on that shot from Cemo, and is approaching the baby room. So Cemo looks to be damaging down. Definitely not going to get a baby skip here. I'd be shocked. Yep, nope, not going to happen there. But a quick energy down with just the 7 E-tanks and only the Varia suit. And we have the energy replenishment here. Beamer now trying to make the climb up. Still has to go to Meridia. And Cemo is going to save here. Okay, that takes a little bit of the guesswork out of the mix. And yes, that indeed does preserve a very healthy lead. cemo attempting, and at the last second does get the Zeb skip, so that is going to preserve a good amount of the ammo here. Ooh, and leaves just the 60. So if a shot is missed here, I believe that the calculations were 3.5 charge shots for every missed super missile. So cemo has very little margin for error. Okay, 3 1/3, close enough. We're on the catch-up phase. I believe that was a missed shot, and cemo recognizes this and is going to charge, and oh, has to reset. Took the catch-up to the face, and that brought him under 300 energy. Beamer, meanwhile, has taken out Botwoon and is about to get space jump. And this is why we were worried about a save, and it's a good thing that cemo did. So Beamer picking up space jump. And it looks like he's going to try for the halfie, but just soars up. cemo, meanwhile, is, based on the low ammo, committed here to the Zeb skip. And you're right, now that we are an hour and 5 in, you have to figure both runners are side-eyeing the IRC room at this point, waiting for the dot done to come in, and I think that might be affecting the play a little bit here. I did not know that was officially called the invariant halfie. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'm learning new terminology all the time here as I'm a newcomer to the SMRAT community. May as well try to name some stuff in the game, fair enough. I'll put it over, why not? Alright, so starting with 61, so there is a little bit more leeway. 633 energy, so that leaves 332 leeway. And should be entering the catch-up phase, and does. Avoids that catch-up. I don't believe has missed a shot as of yet. No commentator's curse here, and damage down too far! Oh no! Perhaps not realizing that it was just the Varia suit that cemo had, damage down under 300. Dragon is down for OK Beamer, and this just all of a sudden got a little bit closer. cemo getting the Zeb skip on the first try this time, and you figure there has to be a level of concern and panic going on here. Everything done with an even greater sense of urgency at this point. Again, starting with 61 supers. 60 will take out Mother Brain, but you need that 301 energy, and this definitely has to be a semblance of panic that is kicking in here for cemo. down 1-0 already in this best of 3 for the semifinals. I think there was a shot on the neck, so I think that might be the one miss. This is true. I think it's just force of habit with a lot of runners. So his damage down to 394. Here comes the beam. And it is enough. Beamer saving at the ship. Flow Guy, our commentator in race 1, noting that cemo is likely amazed that there's no dot done. I think a lot of runners would be. I mean, we're at an hour 9 in and change, and at the 109 mark, OK Beamer is just entering Torian. cemo is probably anticipating a dot done snipe that is not going to happen. Barring something absolutely ridiculous on the escape. I hate to say it because I know that the commentator's curse is real. Here is the cutscene. Beamer now on the second Metroid room. And that is a good point. The climbs that cemo would have to do without speed booster. And Beamer about to head into the baby room as Mother Brain is down on cemo's side and just has the escape. No speed on cemo's side, but just has to avoid the acid enemies and otherwise and stay alive. There's 798 energy leeway. Lack of speed booster takes a little bit of extra time, and I'm sure cemo is panicking based off of that, but little does he know that he is going to finish this ahead by probably a good 5 to 6 minutes, I would say. Maybe 7. I'm giving a little too much credit for the cutscenes. cemo did play fantastically here. Certainly a lot of gambles, a lot of heart-wrenching moments, but was able to pull through. Now making the climb up the parlor. And we are going to have a deciding Game 3 tomorrow afternoon. Get out your GGs for cemo Rocks as he will win race number 2 with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 7 seconds. The deciding Game 3 will be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we will have the crew in place to be able to bring this to you here among the Speedrunners Arena networks. And cemo making some notations here, but as much as I'd like to respond, the race is still on, so I don't want to say anything here. Beamer, meanwhile, is on Mother Brain. Oh, the damage boost with the okay. I was wondering how he didn't take the catch-up damage, but that explains it. Meanwhile, that is going to do it here for Mother Brain for Beamer. And yes, we can certainly bring the runners in for an interview to close things out here on Speedrunners Arena. Although it looks like the runners, now that Beamer is aware that cemo has finished and is on the cutscene, is yeah, a little bit of a conversation. So we're gonna look to see if cemo, yes, cemo has agreed to join us here into the booth. Now, I'm curious, where was Plasma Beam? That was the one thing that we weren't really sure of. Now, my guess is somewhere in Meridia, maybe Yellow Meridia? That's just my hunch. I mean, it's either that or somewhere in Norfair Reserve as well. Or you know, somewhere in Bubble Mountain, I should say. Well, as the credits roll up here, we have cemo, who has forced a Game 3. Congratulations and GG.
Thank you. I felt pretty good about it, except for dying at the end. That felt pretty bad. You know, I was like, oh, okay, well, that just cost me the race.
Well, it turns out that it didn't. You had a pretty comfortable lead. Your gamble to go suitless Meridia was that seemed to be where the difference was here, as Beamer now just finishing off Mother Brain and has to do the escape. One thing that we were concerned about, okay, it looks like Plasma was at Speed Booster Missile. Okay, that was the one thing that had been omitted. But Beamer had Gravity Suit. Beamer had Space Booster, which was Space Booster. What the heck? Speed Booster. Easy for me to say. Trying to look at too many different things at once here. Yes, Beamer had Speed, which was at the Beta PB location. He had also found Wave Beam and Spazer.
I mean, those would have been nice for like the extra damage, but I had so many supers, it wasn't a big deal. It would have been nice that time I wasted a super on Mother Brain, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, Wave Beam, yeah, there were a couple of out-of-the-way checks to get those. Wave was at X-Ray, and Spazer was up in the attic at the Assembly Malign Missiles location.
Right, I found Varia, and I already had Grapple and Ice and Spring Ball and High Jump boots. So I was like, well, I have a whole bunch of supers, I have a whole bunch of missiles. I can just commit to doing like a suitless Meridian and hope that like gravity's not just somewhere really close by that you might get quickly.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention on screen here that Beamer is moonwalking the long way during the escape here.
Can you make it out moonwalking? Is there enough?
You know, I don't know. Beamer is already down to a minute 22. I don't think he's going to be able to make it here.
This is tense.
Yeah, moving about as quickly through this room as I do through most SMRAT seeds.
But I think committing to the suitless in the second seed was better than doing it in the first seed. Because the first seed I didn't have that many checks left. but I felt kind of behind, so I went for like a gamble. This one, I just thought it was like the correct play to make.
Yeah, something tells me that Beamer, makes it through the room, has 44 seconds, and well, doesn't have screw attack there, so this is going to be tight. I don't know if he's going to necessarily make it, and there may be a dot forfeit. Nope, he's committing to moonwalking and dot forfeiting, I think. Yeah, moonwalking along the top here, hasn't even gotten to the acid bath, 23 seconds left. Unless you, wait, does he, nope, okay. There's the dot forfeit. Yeah, I don't think he was quite gonna make it. Did get the full skip here, but has 3.38 seconds coming out of the top of the tower, and that's gonna do it. Yep. And there is the dot forfeit from OK Beamer. But yeah, I mean I think where the difference was, you committed to the suitless Meridia, whereas Beamer was intently looking for gravity suit and came close to last locationing it, full clearing wreck ship, full clearing croc, and ended up going to Bubble Mountain and just behind the Bubble Green door before the reserve was where gravity suit was.
So it wasn't in a terrible location, I guess, but you would have to maybe like skip the top of wrecked ship, just go down, and then I think you would find it. I guess kind of quickly because I feel like that's one of the first things you check in Bubble Mountain, is because there's 3 items there.
Well, I don't know how accessible it necessarily was at the time. I forget. Well, I think you both had grapple beam at the time, so that was certainly there. I mean, it was certainly accessible, but not necessarily the easiest per se. And we have a question in chat. No, the next race, the deciding game 3 between these two, will be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So that'll be about 22 and a half hours from now. As thank you, Strutlog Bot, for the confirmation of that. As we have OK Beamer joining us here in the booth as well. GG, both of you definitely gave us some heart wrenching moments in both games here.
It's two funny C's, wasn't it? Hey, Farron, thanks for commenting. GG, cemo. I was expecting that dot done like 15 minutes earlier or something. The way this seed played out for me, that was pretty awful.
Yeah, GG. It was another late power bomb scene. This time it was even later, or like
Yeah.
logically anyway.
Did you go gauntlet again this seed?
And, yeah, I did. I
Okay.
pretty much always go for it. I like doing it. There was nothing good there. The E-Tank, some supers.
Yeah, I checked it in my second turn wraparound there. I made the conscious choice not to go there because I expected you to go there. And then, of course, I was paranoid of power bombs being there all the time. But that was just one of the many, many problems I had during the seed. That was pretty awful. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Be fun tomorrow.
I didn't catch it. I heard that you last location some stuff, and it was just kind of unfortunate. But
You said you yourself went to Avaria very late, and I kept on digging around wrecked ship, finding absolutely nothing. I even came around through Brinstar for a second time. Don't know if you did that. And yeah, well, then I was in make a play that's successful or lose territory. So I went to Croc first, who had charge beam, but that's about it. Or was it? Was charge at Croc? No, nothing was at Croc. That's right. Maybe wave beam.
No, Croc was a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, the E tank was a missile. We had a couple of super a missile.
Yeah, it might be
No,
confusing.
there was no the charge beam. Oh gosh, that was in Edicoons, as was the grapple beam, and Spazer was up in the attic, the assembly line.
Yeah, I know. I got that.
Um,
Brave little spacer didn't help me that much. You said in the chat that you died to Mother Brain. What happened? Not enough ammo and
Well,
just charge ice?
I was on Varia. The first time I had missed a super, and I was trying to charge ice to finish her off,
Yeah.
and I got hit by a ketchup. And then
Oh,
the
no.
second time, I was trying to damage down, and I went from like 500 health to like 290.
Oh, no. But I mean, it would be awful if you had lost this one because I made all the wrong choices. So GG's to you. You deserve that.
It was a fun one. I got to do suitless in both of the seas, which is kind of interesting. But I don't think I actually get to do suitless in SMRAT seas very much. So I was excited to do it, and I saw my opportunity in both the seas, and I was like, I may as well just go for this.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it necessarily always pays off, though. Like if gravity is somewhere quick to get, then I lose a lot of time for no good reason. But I felt being able to just skip everything, it would pay off.
Yeah, if I hadn't done that croc play, that would have been real close. Like within 1 minute at least.
I was convinced I had lost it by dying to Mother Brain. It's like I
Me
was about to
too.
finish now. It's
But you had
done.
a save. You obviously had a save. Smart.
Yeah, I saved before Mother Brain because I was specifically worried about damaging down too far.
Okay.
That if I can interject for a moment, that was something that had a lot of chat as well as myself concerned, as we had seen that you had replenished the ship, opted not to save, and we thought, oh no, is Cemo gonna just go for this and try to save every second possible? But then when you saved right before Mother Brain, there was a little sigh of relief because we didn't know when the last time you would saved that was prior, and I think that a death without a save would have allowed Beamer to take over and get the victory.
Yeah,
My
Rick.
last save was probably Lower Norfair
Oh boy.
before going down the elevator because I was worried I might fall in the acid and die.
Oh, so that would have meant
Just
you would have had to do Ridley all over again and Dragon all over again. Oh gosh.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been over.
Okay, so tomorrow another early bomb seed. Bomb at Bomb Teresa. Oh my god, that first Bomb Teresa fight was so embarrassing for me. I don't know how to fight the dude. I usually always have something like supers, more missiles than 5. So I did quite the oopsie there.
It was the exact vanilla bomb Teresa fight, so it's
Yep.
kind of cool. I
I
did
don't
okay
know
at it.
vanilla.
I got a bit of bad luck. Like I think he shoots his orbs and you get missiles, and then he shoots more orbs. But on his second thing of orbs, he didn't. He just dropped health for me, so I had to wait more.
Yeah, rewatch that race. That's gonna be funny. Watching me trying to fight him.
It's much nicer when you have supers.
Yes, it is. Anything else that was funny? How Farron, did you watch the first match?
I saw bits and pieces the first match. I was hoping to do both, but the start time of the first one had clashed right with an appointment to get my first of the 2 COVID vaccine halves.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
because
doing my part to stay safe.
that's great. I was wondering if how close we were through the gauntlet, because it's not that often you see people doing gauntlet with bombs in this either, just as well as Sudas Meridia. So that's
I
gonna be
know
nice.
the first one. It took me a couple tries to get like the jump up with high jump boots, but
Oh yeah, I turn them off for that specifically. Only when I go through there with bombs. That and just very, very few other things, I turn them off.
I also came a bit close to dying in the gauntlet the first time. Like I mistimed the jump and took some damage.
Yeah, I mean, that's
But I
just,
made it through with like I don't know 50 health, but you know in acid that just disappears so fast.
it's just one little mistake and it's over.
It was definitely a high risk, high reward gamble early, and I think it just led to an E tank, which in the front was probably welcomed, and then a pair of supers in the back.
I mean
Yeah,
those supers helped. I had 70 supers at the end, so you know.
when I eventually went through there, I was obviously glad I saw those items because I knew you didn't have any power bombs through Brinstar as well.
Yeah, that would have been a. That's one of the reasons I like it, especially when you have no power bombs, because there might be power bombs there,
Yeah, me
and
too.
even then, oftentimes you'll find a major item too. So it's I don't know. I like the gamble personally, but I can understand why people skip it. It's really slow and really dangerous.
Well, what's gonna happen tomorrow?
I guess we have a game three. I know there's also a race tomorrow between Zeb and Sloters, I think. Let me look at the
Yes,
schedule
I did
here.
mention that a little towards the beginning, but along with your matchup, now that that is set for 1:30 p.m. Eastern, the full slate is set starting at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Sloters against Zeb 316. The first game scheduled for 2 o'clock. The second game scheduled for 3:15 Eastern, and the third, if necessary, would be at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So they are going back to back to potentially back.
So, Timo, that
I
means
mean,
after half an hour tomorrow, nobody will be watching us.
I mean, we could move our race a little bit, maybe. If you're okay with racing at 2 o'clock, it might be.
Yeah, well, it's just half an hour. We can do that actually.
Yeah, well, we'll leave that discussion to the Speedrunners Arena Discord as far as the match scheduling and whatnot, if there is a change to be made. And I would say to check out the Discord if you haven't already. That way you can be in the loop on all of the changes that are going on here. And well, we've got Invarial, who is one of our key restreamers, as well as one of the moderators, administrators, and every other authoritative aider you can think of. If you're okay with rescheduling for 2 p.m. Eastern, everything can be broadcast on Speedrunners Arena 1. So that could be rather interesting. That's
Yeah, but who are those dudes, Slowless and Zap? Are they any good?
from what I've been
Never
told
heard
they
of
are.
them.
That is the Rat Bracket semifinals.
I
I'm
think
kidding, of
rats
course.
are the dirtiest animals, so it means
Yeah,
they're the worst racers.
must be it.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know about that, as I'm in the one-man guinea pig bracket. So I think when it comes to worst racers, I think I'm in a class all by myself. But that's a whole nother story for another day. But yes, any final thoughts here before we wrap things up here on Speedrunners Arena?
GG's. Thanks everybody who made this possible and the viewers. Goodbye.
Yeah, GG's. I want to thank you guys for the commentary. I want to apologize to Jade for not picking up many items and not giving her things to track.
Well, I mean, there was still a lot of excitement even with everything that was going on. There were a few moments. Well, you'll hear it back on the rebroadcast. There were a few quality highlightable moments, to say the least. But make sure to give both of our runners a follow. They gave you a pair of fantastic races, and it looks like it is official. They will be part of a quad setup for 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Their one-on-one deciding race to determine who will face Essie in the Mouse Bracket Finals. And you will also have game one in the best of three of Sloters 27 versus Zeb 316 in the Rat Bracket semifinals. So a ton to check out. Definitely looking forward to that here on Speedrunners Arena about 23 hours from now. Definitely looking forward to it. Make sure to also show some love to the folks behind the scenes, WJG999, who took care of the restream for today. Also, Sailor Jade, who took care of the tracking for both races. Slow Guy, who was the commentator for our first race. And myself, I'm Ferran Burgundy, saying for all of us here in the SMRAT community and Speedrunners Arena networks, until next time, stay classy, my friends, stay safe, and see you next mission. So long, everyone.
Thanks, man. See you. Bye.